Ndị be anyị na Bọlachi, anyị sị ka ọ dịrị unu na mma, anyị sị ka nke onye chikwelu ya zelu. Dịka o si dị, ya bụ Igbo Media ka anyị si bịa na uhuruchi nketa iwetara unu ya bụ ozi gbasata maka ihe na-eme na the Old Eastern Region. Dịka unu anụ ka o si ada, nwanne anyị nwoke wetara anyị ozi n'elu akwụkwọ.
Director of the State Security Service for at least allowing me. It's one area of government that I visited, and it looked like you're in Europe. Good process. Nobody wasted your time. All the screening processes went, quite on time. And when it was time for me to go visit him, one or two persons escorted me to where I was supposed to meet with him. And I must admit, it's one of the most emotional times of my life. First, that I saw a very brilliant Nigerian, extraordinarily brilliant Nigerian, well-spoken, very, very intelligent, who knew what he was fighting for. And we embraced ourselves more than 10 times. It became very, very touchy for both of us. And I asked him, why did you invite me? He said, because he knows I will say the truth of what he has told others and they didn't want to believe. So the essence of it was that he wanted me to tell, especially the Southeasterners, that he does not support the sit-at-home in any form. If they did it once as a symbolic gesture, yes, it's appreciated, but not to make it a regular feature from 1 day to 1 week to 2 weeks. Now, who does that to his own people? That if Ekpa or whomsoever he is supporting him, you don't create a double jeopardy for our people. Every Monday, nobody does anything. Some people depend on either their wheelbarrows or trucks or keke to make living, to maintain their families. How can he be inflicting pain on his people? It's a very simple thing. And that the handwritten note that was circulated, that he wrote it. That is not fake, he wrote it, that I should say so. That he does not support it. So I promised him that I'm not getting any younger. I will try to make out time to go to Finland. I've already sent messages because this is not the time of warmongering now. And I have to see this Ekpa and say, what's your problem? Because if he doesn't listen, I've seen the reply he made, which gives me the tendency to believe that some people are sponsoring him. If you want to be leader of your people, will you be leader of the dead or the living? He's from Ebonyi State, I understand. And the other day I was looking on social media where people supposedly representing him were firing all over the place. And a small child of under 1 year was abandoned by his or her parents, and they ran away. And I was just most weeping, praying God, let bullet not touch this small child. And I hope nothing happened to him or her. Is that the nature of the leadership? And this is the worry. These are the worries that Nnamdi Kanu has.
So he's not aware of Simon Ekpa's, representing
him because of the interest of justice. But they have thrown it into another dimension. Because I read what he was saying, that he's Prime Minister of Biafra in exile. It's sad for me. Not after fighting for Biafra, and somebody tells me you're Prime Minister in exile, where you're taking orange juice, you're a citizen of Finland, living comfortably in security, and your people here are almost in desolate, nothing to eat, no petrol, nothing, and you're still threatening them that they won't go to work on Monday. Is that love? It is not love. This is where Nnamdi Kanu disagrees completely with what they are doing. And he said I should say so, that he does not support sit-at-home, that their people should be allowed to make a living. He stands for justice, but you cannot have justice without peace. You have to address peace by addressing justice. So it's a problem. Oh. And like I said, I've started the contact making. I probably will wait until the tribunal, verdict is out. Yesterday, I spent time trying to get in touch with the Finnish embassy to see how I can get, because I need to go and, see the young man and really find out what is going on with him. Because our people cannot continue this way. We can't continue this way.
All right, so in essence,
About a year ago on this platform, I had said if we had serious governance in the Southeast, I don't care whether you're APC, PDP, now we have 2 APC governments, 1 APGA, 1 PDP, and 1 Labour. I'm not interested in the nomenclature of where you're coming from. I'm interested in seeing the 5 governors we have sit down and know that the protection of our people lies squarely on their hands. This crying of Sana Ekpa did that. These are because there are lacunas here and there that they are exploiting. If a governor is in charge, if I'm in charge of a state, I bet you cannot enter my state and just do anything you like. You can't. You can't. It just means that people are not using their brain. Because people voted for you, you're part of that state. You know what is going on in that state. Once in a while, one or two persons can smuggle themselves into the state and do one or two nonsense and escape, but it won't be a regular feature. 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I was seeing the social media where a Reverend sister was almost, bastardized, beaten up, her face swollen in Anambra State. Reverend fathers are kidnapped, some killed. So it become a way of life. Our governors have to decide. It's not a matter of Hope Uzodimma talking and Enugu governor talking and that one. They have to have a concerted effort. Come to the federal government, because the whole problem, people are also exploiting the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is detained. And they push it under that is what they are fighting for. Which is unfortunate. Because if our 5 governors and 15 senators and our members of the federal house have effectively pushed this government, and by this government I mean from Buhari's government, what is the offense of Nnamdi Kanu? I asked. Nobody has been able to tell me. When some Igbo leaders met Buhari, he said that the judicial process has to take its course. The judicial process took its course, and the Court of Appeal of all courts discharged him of all the charges against him. For the first time in the history of any legal process in the world, Malami, who was then the most dishonest attorney general this country has ever had, ran to a judge, and I think that judge is now the chairman of the Presidential Appeal Committee, ran to him, and he granted an order for keeping Nnamdi Kanu in detention. He's unheard of anywhere in law. So you don't understand really what is going on in this country, that nobody is interested in obeying the rule of law, because I believe the processes Tinubu has passed in his life, especially the fight he joined Abiola to do in 2012 election, he should be one person to appreciate what rule of law means. And I have said this once or twice, and I don't think he's appreciating what it means. Because if he releases this boy, he will be a walking piece of history. He will be a walking piece of history if he releases this boy. He's not releasing him because he likes his faith, but because the courts have said so. And I believe either a President Atiku Abubakar or a President Peter Obi will release him. They will obey the rule of law. There's no reason why that boy will be languishing in prison. I was happy that he has made me to be his political advisor, telling what is going on in his place and what for us to do to move our people forward. And it's a job I have gladly accepted to do for him. And I'll try as much as possible to see him from time to time. But to be able to coordinate it, I have to travel to Finland to see this man and know what his problem is. I mean, stay in the people don't come home. Our young men and women don't come home anymore. All wedding ceremonies. This is one festival Igbos enjoy. Wine carrying, wedding. Everybody in the village is expectant of that. It doesn't happen anymore. We're now doing it in Lagos and in other cities. It's unfortunate for somebody to tell his people not to move out on Monday. It's a pity.
Okay, I mean, in terms of the facts and history, some people would also say, especially some scholars, historians, such as yourself, would go back in memory to the year 2003 when Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu visited, I beg your pardon, Ojukwu visited Buhari in Daura, and they had a conversation. And one of the things that came out of that analysis was that Nigeria must remain one, and the hate messages must end. However, with the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, does it seem like that conversation is being practiced in real time?
If you remember, I mentioned that on this platform about 2 years ago. I said, well, we were 6 of us, General Odumegwu Ojukwu, invited to tell us that the Buhari had asked him to come to Buhari to discuss about the future of this country. And the other 5 said no, that he wasn't going to. I was the only one who said, go. Igbos have a saying that whatever is in your stomach does not smell until you pass it out. So go to him, listen to him, and know where he's coming from. And he went and spent 2 days with him in Buhari's house. They had a 5-point understanding. Unfortunately, Ojukwu died later. Buhari could not even as much as attend the funeral of Ojukwu. And none of those 5 points did he, make an attempt after being president of. Because when he invited him, he wasn't president. It was just ordinary Buhari. Then he became president. None of those 5 agendas they agreed upon to push this country forward. And one of them specifically said how the Southeast will be seriously put into the mainstream of the Nigerian political process. And he agreed to that. Probably the only attempt he made was probably using Igbos as his vice presidential candidate at each point in time. But after that, what next? All he now did was to his stoking paranoia and hatred. The achievement of putting in.
Ngwanụ daalụ niile nụ ụmụnne m dịka unu si na-esoro anyị n'Igbo Media. Gịnị ka unu nwere ikwu na nkọwa nke unu gbasịta maka ihe unu nọ n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa? Gwa anyị ife iche n'ụdị nke gị, deela ya n'akara kọmentị ka mara ihe i chere, ma chetakwa tụsa ya bụ ozi ka o wereta ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ntị. Ndewo na ụmụnne m, ka emesịanụ.